Say what, say what, say what? It's hockey on a Wednesday. What's going on? How about yesterday? Let's go over it real fast. Yesterday, I said pick Connor Hellebuck. I said pick this guy and pick this guy. This guy was the one you wanted. Winnipeg did win. Jimmy Howard also played well on Detroit. There were some signs that was going to happen too. Lundqvist with the surprise win in a crazy game against this guy that we knew was going to get beat up. So, good for you on your goaltenders there. How about points-wise? Well, what's kind of cool in what I've done here is I'm bringing in a new calculation for dollar per point for DraftKings, which I'll show you in a second on the newer stuff. But as for just point-wise, what happened, it was this. It was all Rangers like we talked about in the video yesterday. A lot of Rangers here. There's 4 Rangers in the top 8 scorers, right? So, and a couple guys from the night. So if you grab Riley Smith and Jonathan Marchessault, Zibanejad, Buchnevich, Zuccarello was the off guy that you had to grab that you wasn't on the first line. That I called in the video though. He's a guy you want. He's shown you can do that in the past. I also called Dylan Larkin. Boy, everything I said in the video, if I'd played it all on one freaking roster, I would have won. I did cash with one entry that had Zibanejad, Buchnevich. I don't think I even had Zuccarello on it. I didn't have Larkin on it. I might have had Marchessault Smith. But Darren Helm puts it up on Detroit. That's interesting. I'll get more details on him later. Dylan Larkin did it. Kyle Connor was the one you wanted. Clayton did have a 6-point game. Came back late. That was predictable. So yeah, there weren't too many games, so you couldn't get too much wrong. But I guess also Mantha had a goal too. I should have won with the video I did yesterday. But let's forget about yesterday. Let's move on to today. There are 5 games on the schedule. This file's blowing up because we're starting to get a lot of cool data in here and doing some formatting. So let's discuss something. So we're going to do these 5 games and we're going to talk about team by line. So what we have in here is an interesting way of looking at when you're paying for players in a DraftKings setting. You're trying to do a roster. Who do you grab on which lines and stuff like that? What I'm going to show you is which lines you really want to pay attention to and why as we talk about the matchups. So this is cool. So this is showing you by team when it's green, when it's a green color like this 1437, that means that it was a really good night to have them because they scored a lot of points. We can look at let's look at one team and only the last 5 games to show you really how it looks. So the first line had a huge night 4 days ago. We can also change the way we're looking at this by, let's see here, by doing maybe values under days ago. Yeah, I think that works. Let's see how that looks. This is going to give you point per game and the dollar amount per day. Let's look at it by a person instead, just to make it a little easier on our eyes for a second. Green is good, red is bad, right? Now, the formatting you're seeing is not really in tandem because, let's look at one team. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, kind of doing some creative things with this that I hadn't planned on before the video, but I want to show you all the things you can do with the file and kind of explain how we're going to pick our lines and stuff here. So let me look at the games quickly. Jersey and Vancouver, Nashville, San Jose, Philly, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Edmonton, Toronto, Anaheim. I have something called an active filter that usually works. It's usually on. So it's just the teams that are playing should be showing. Up here it's this active slicer. It's clicked. That means it's just get the teams that are playing. You can change the size of these slicers around so that you can see them easier as you toggle. Okay, This thing right now is sorted by, you use this little arrow, there's this thing called more sort options depending on which version of Excel you're using, and you can change the way you sort this. So Toronto, even though they haven't been putting up a lot of goals lately, is still overall a big scoring team. Let's look at just the last 15 days. Yep, I know Vancouver's been fairly hot, except for the last game where I had them and they didn't do anything. San Jose has been reliable and good. Anaheim is, look at that Anaheim offense. Toronto kind of stagnant. Philly, yep, Philly. Jersey, wow. 2 4-goal games out of Jersey. Against Ottawa and Arizona. Wow. Although Ottawa did give up a lot against the Rangers. Pittsburgh is the weird one. Pittsburgh's a team where I guess I'm willing to stay away from them tonight because they just haven't been putting up any offense. Crosby, of course, Crosby will have an 8-goal night. I'm sure he will. I'm going to grab him just on one roster, just because. But yeah, probably not. Edmonton, Nashville, Chicago. Chicago's weird. Shots-wise, Chicago's up there. Shots. Vancouver, yeah. Okay, and then goaltenders-wise, we're looking at today's matchups. So if we just want active goaltenders, we could click that slicer. Now, I don't know who's playing, so we don't know who's going to be starting, but based on, you know, people we like over the last, let's say, 15 days, you know, who's super hot. Pecorini, Nashville. Ryan Miller came back and had his first game with Anaheim. He played really well. I don't know if he's starting again. Anders Nilsson for Vancouver, right? Because Vancouver's been winning a lot and taking a lot of shots too. I guess Martin Jones reliable. And then you start to see what happens. So, let's see, just those games, right? 5, I don't know. Anyway, so there might be some goalies to watch out for if you see some poor goaltending. So let's just talk about, assuming we don't know who the goalies are, right? Let's look at a matchup, New Jersey, Vancouver. Now here's it. This is interesting because I saw New Jersey had some offense and also like Vancouver's offense a little bit. People that you want, I don't like that view with the values there. I like it all together like this. Shows like, I guess when the person pops up in green, that means they were a good pick for their money that day, right? So when you look at this by our normal way of looking at things, which is which line are they on? Devils. Are they getting their money's worth, and how many points were they putting up, right? The points they were putting up kind of start there. And you can see that, you know, they all had a good game here. Stafford apparently has not really been worth his weight the last 4 games. John Moore. Okay, this is an interesting way of looking at it. I hadn't done this before. I'm going to remove the green background from the design because I had done that before I thought about the way I was going to look at this. Okay, so that's better. A little bit better. I still wanted some green because I feel like we're going to win in green. All right, so we have, all right, so this is interesting. So reliable. These pockets of green means reliable. Look at Brian Gibbons. I know it's small-time points, but he must be really cheap. Santini, Hayes, Zachka. All right, so looking at it this way, I don't think Vancouver's going to give up a ton of goals, so I wouldn't pick up too many New Jersey guys, but I kind of see pockets of like Henrique looks like a pretty good pick. We're still going to sort this by, I want to sort this descending by points per game. Yeah, that is the way it's going. And then I'm going to flip this because I think that's better and more the way we're used to seeing it with their numbers. Like Taylor Hall is pretty reliable, but he does hurt you if he doesn't put up the points like he might not against Vancouver. It's kind of why I'm thinking stay away. Now, as Vancouver-wise, I always loved the Horvat-Baertschi line. Did they change that to the first line? Is that what we're seeing here? Where are the Sedins? On the Second line now. Okay, they finally made the change. I mean, it was obvious. They were playing a ton, and they're giving it to them. So that's where the ice time is. You can see how Horvat and Berchi get really green here a lot of the time because they're not that expensive and can have a huge night. Tanev, I mean, it's not putting up anything more than 4, though. So you want to look for big, heavy green, and then are there pockets of green around it? Dorsett is one. See, look at this. Look at how green Dorsett is in the last 5 games. 6 games. He only had 1 off in the last 6, 2 off in the last 7, and then that was the beginning of the year, right? That guy, I remember hearing his name a lot. I like him. So Dorsett's a guy I want because I think the Devils have been giving up. Corey Schneider's back from the dead. I mean, yeah, they're giving up some goals. Look, they're all giving up 3 or 4 goals in the last 50. Really? Wow. Yeah, you were going to want to grab some Vancouver offense this game because both those goalies are giving up at least a hat trick to the entire team. So keep that in mind. So when you think of Vancouver guys, this game's in Vancouver. Yeah. Okay. Bo, Sven. Sam Gagner's looking kind of green here, right? 3 out of 4 out of 6, 3, 4.5. Is he on the power play? Yes. With the Sedins, though. So this power play line isn't going to get as much action as it used to because you've got, this is going to change too. This might not even be updated in Daily Faceoff. I bet they're going to switch the power play lines around too. Which means, is Del Zotto going to go anywhere, or is Del Zotto is also looking really good. Here's your average total per point, right? 291. So Sven is the cheapest here, but actually Del Zotto is cheaper than everybody. Dorsett is cheaper than everybody else, huh? Okay, cool. I like the way we look at this. All right, so anybody else down here we care about? I hear Biega's name a lot. He'll score a goal, I bet you, tonight. That's my call of the night. He's not good on the money line here, but he's coming back. He's starting playing again. See how he's going up a little bit? I heard his name a lot the other night. And Vanek. Why don't I have anybody else on the 4th line here? Files busted? That's not good. That's not good. Where's everybody on the 4th line? Burmistrov. And is Brock Besser playing? Or is he hurt? It says he's injured. Maybe they don't know who they're bringing in. All right, we'll figure it out. All right, so that was Vancouver, New Jersey. All right, Nashville, St. Louis. San Jose. Nashville, San Jose. Let's shrink this. Both these teams are playing okay and have pretty good goaltending, so I wouldn't expect a ton of goals. Kind of like Nashville, just my initial reaction is to like Nashville. I don't know, though. Let's see here. And as we can see, our 4th lines might be a little screwed up. So Nashville's got Nick Bonino now? Huh. All right, well, anyway. Forsberg, so Martin Jones this game's in San Jose. Martin Jones probably isn't going to give up if it's Jones. He's like, all these goalies are pretty good. All these goalies are all right. Like, there haven't been too many terrible high-scoring games. You can see there's a lot of. I don't think Swaros is going to play. It's probably going to. And I don't think Dell's going to play. I think it's going to be Jones and Rene, I bet. And both these guys hardly give up more than 2. So, I mean, are these teams scoring a ton? Nashville, not so much. San Jose kind of is doing. San Jose, I don't know why I like Nashville in this game. San Jose, you'd think would be playing better. Yeah, don't listen to me, my winners here. But let's see who's going to score. So, I don't like too many guys in this game because of what I just said offensively. But if you're going to take somebody, it certainly looks like you want your Forsberg and Yossi. I mean, that looks really good. Like, all that looks pretty great right here. Ekholm, I guess. Could even consider Johansson. Then there's Arvidsson and Subban, but that hasn't been great lately. Arvidsson hasn't been. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't grab these guys this game. Craig Smith is weirdly doing awesome. I wonder how cheap he is. 3,600. There's one you can maybe grab on the third line. That could be sneaky. I bet you if they do get a goal, he could be involved in that. The way he's putting up numbers. And I don't know what's wrong with my fourth lines. I got to do some more coding. Let's look at San Jose. All right. Once again, not a great game for offensive players, but Burns is showing that he's still pretty much worth it. Look at these. I mean, when you put up numbers like this, he's pretty much worth it. But this game, not a great game for him. Pavelski, I had him the other night, but it still didn't cash with that roster. Logan Couture and Hurdle. Tim Heed. Tim Heed. There's your weird third line guy. He's actually the cheapest player per point on the whole team. 12. That's funny because of that one. Well, no, but he's pretty. There's a one to grab. Okay, Tim Heed. When you need like these weird, you don't have enough roster left, and you need to fill something up, and you just grab one guy. That's not a bad idea. All right. Don't know who's going to win that game, but don't think there's going to be a lot of offense. Philly and Chicago. Now here, I do think there's probably going to be some offense. I'll tell you why. Because no matter who's playing, everybody's had a game putting up at least. All right, well, Corey Crawford's been playing better lately. There's that. So watch out for Philly. Nuvi, yikes. Elliott, yikes. That was against Arizona, too, I think. Maybe. I don't know who played yesterday. Didn't they play yesterday against Arizona? No, it's 2. They lost to Arizona, right? 4-3, I think. So, yeah, was that Arizona? Yeah, it was. Okay, so who's playing? It's a good question. I think that Chicago's offense, you might be interested in Chicago's offense this game based on what I'm seeing lately out of Philly's. And you might be interested in Philly's offense because even though Crawford's been pretty good, I don't think it's going to be Anton Forsberg. Crawford played 2 here. 3. I think this could be a game Crawford gives up another 4 the way Philly's been playing. So that's why. So I do see offense in this game, and let's take a look at that. So pivot. So for Chicago-wise, it's a lot of green there. It's Duncan Keith. Wow, why is Brandon Saad $489? A huge 13-point, then a 7, then a 6-6, but then not much the last 6 games. Duncan and Taze. So that's weird. Here's a guy that's not hot, but it's only been 2 weeks that he hasn't been really hot. And the whole team's kind of slumped, which is weird. Look at their trend in time from really green over here-ish to a lot of red, and then a little pickup here on this game, I guess. This was probably a win. I don't know who the opponent was. It was a win against Arizona. Sure, anybody can beat Arizona, though, except for Philly. So, I don't know. But, okay, people pop out of slumps and stuff once in a while. So, I guess your dollars per point is something to look at here over time with these guys. I guess you're looking at, everybody's above 1,500. Everybody, right? 1,429 Duncan Keith. It's defenseman. Pretty sure he's on D. So there's that. Sharp is on Chicago again? No way. I like him. I went to college with him. Anisimov, Kempney, maybe. I don't know. I don't like too much in this game. I don't know. As for Philly, I do like Philly's offense more. You can see here why, numbers-wise and also monetarily. 12, 14. Voracek and Couturier. I do expect these guys to be pretty heavily owned tonight. I think not as bad, but look at Provorov. Yeah, Provorov is going to get. He's not going to have another night like this. They're probably not going to have a huge night like that. But 14. Look at Brandon Manning. That's 4 games. Konechny. No. Yeah. I don't know. These guys, you can't not take them. Jeez. Who's Robert Hagg? Wow. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. I'm just kind of looking at games I got to get going to. I don't have all day. All right, now Pittsburgh's goaltending has been weird, so it makes you think Edmonton's more possible. McDavid's waking up, or he's always very consistent, and Draisaitl's back. That's helpful. So that's not a bad idea. Maroon, look at how consistent Maroon has been. Good for the money. Maroon's been actually a Nurse. Huh. Those two have been cheaper than everybody else. That's surprising. Darnell Nurse's consistency and dollar per point. Very interesting. Better than Clefbaum, but Clefbaum is outscoring Nurse slightly, right? Yeah, by 0.5. So they got to take that into consideration. Nugent Hopkins is the one that can have a weird name. Everyone can score against Pittsburgh. Don't see much going on. Letestu is not putting up on the power play like he used to. And I don't know if these guys are playing. Who's Yamamoto? I'm going to start grabbing Yamamoto when he comes back. I wonder if he got hurt. That seems interesting. And Matt Benning, I don't know, but well, fourth line looks right there. I do like Edmonton, guys, the way Pittsburgh's been playing. And this game's in Edmonton. So I guess you grab... Wow, everybody's... This is weird. Anybody can go here. You've literally got... Why do we only have 2 people on this, or 3 people on the second line? That seems weird. What happened? Why do we have... Second line should be Lucic, Nugent. Oh, Yamamoto's on the second line. Ooh. Why is that busted? All right, I got to fix that. So Yamamoto is on this line. I'll do that before I put the file up. So yeah, that's why he's got points there. He's back from injury. All right, so I might take him. How cheap is he? 1,500. Yeah. Okay. Watch this. You want Yamamoto, Clefbaum, Nugent Hopkins, and these 4. You want a lot of guys on Edmonton. I think that there's going to be 3 or 4 guys that hit from there. McDavid's going to get heavily owned. So it's almost worth to try to dodge McDavid here and not take him on every roster and see who else it's going to be. Because Pittsburgh seems to score from different lines. You'll see Pittsburgh, but they also let in from different lines. So like what you want to do with Pittsburgh is because there could be some goals for Pittsburgh in this game too. I kind of think this is going to be a high scoring game. But they're not. Actually, they're not putting up the offense this year. So you can see it's just Malkin and Kessel that are showing green here. It's scattered with Letang, but Kessel seems to be the cheapest. No, Molimata is better because of an early game though. Schultz. I think my lines are screwed up here. No, they're not. I think that Malkin and Kessel are sometimes worth it. In this game, it's going to be Crosby, Letang, Gensel, Sheary. Letang's been your best. Yeah, he's been saying stay away from Crosby at 2,000 a point, and especially recently, where he hasn't crossed over 6 points in over 7 games. So I think you can grab those 2. You can consider Hornquist, but he hasn't shown much. But I'm more on the side of Edmonton guys here. I see a lot more guys in Edmonton I want to grab the way they've been playing. So there's that game, and then we're going to finish off with Toronto and Anaheim. And Toronto and Anaheim, yeah, you can see I don't know how Talbot's been playing. Yeah, Talbot's that there's gonna be some goals in that Pittsburgh Edmonton game. I like the over in that Pittsburgh Edmonton game. I think. I do think so. I think Pittsburgh needs to wake up and score a little bit. If Miller's going to be playing again with Anaheim, that could be fun. Toronto will give up some goals, and Anaheim will score some goals. So I think I do like Anaheim, or potentially. Yeah, I think that's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun game. All right, so what we'll do is we'll say, is that McClarney who's going to be playing? Toronto's going to have Anderson. No, Toronto's going to have Anderson probably. So that means that you're looking at a potential for 4 goals. You really are. So let's go back and say, all right, for Anaheim, what do we do? Getzlaf, is Getzlaf hurt? No, I guess not. Maybe he came back. Thought he was hurt. Thought he got hurt in this game. I don't know if he's all right. But apparently they're saying on Daily Faceoff he's playing. So if he is, you got him to worry about. He's the best. Look at Hampus Lindholm. I heard his name a ton. Corey Perry maybe waking up a little more. Josh Manson was playing well. I like Hampus Lindholm and Raquel. But it's Montour, Cogliano, who apparently never misses a game. I don't want to curse that. Silverberg, Vermette, Bojaman. Montour, and then there's Kase and Grant, who played really well. There's those two that are sneaky. Look at all the green here. Look at how consistently green this third line on Anaheim is. Wagner, how cheap is Wagner? Was Wagner the cheapest player on the team? See, sometimes you want to look at it like this. Just because, and then I want to sort it. I do want to sort it by dollars per point descending. Sorry, ascending. Ascending, because it's the cheapest that's the best. That's what you forget. Cheapest dollar per point, ascending is the best. So this guy who never plays is the best, cheapest, but yeah, it is. It's Wagner, and he's on like the 4th line, right? That's what he's got on. That's crazy. Because he's so cheap. So there's looking at your value plays, Montour, Hampus Lindholm, like I said, Kase, Grant together. So when you see those guys together on the same line, that's why it's important to look at it in both ways. So it makes you understand why you want to take Kase and Grant in a game like this, where I think they can put some goals up against Toronto, and I might consider Wagner some off guys with other lines on other teams. So that's my 2. Montour's a defenseman. We can also try doing something like this, where we take the position after the line and then expand it out like this. And you can do a tabular view even also. It can sometimes help, which I might mess around with. But that's gonna be dollar amounts. It's interesting. That's not the DraftKings position. That's the other position. DraftKings position is this one. That makes more sense. Anyway, I like this other view better. So with Toronto, if you were thinking about offense, because maybe Ryan Miller isn't going to have an amazing game or somebody else is playing, look at the value here. Matthews and Riley. Look at Ron Hainsey. He won't put up a ton of points for you, but he's still giving you value on that line because there's just so much other scoring going on. Nylander. Hyman. I guess the odd one out can be Hyman and Hainsey, or odd 2 out there. These two are a nice combo. These two are a nice combo. At least they were really nice there. Kadri's the consistent one. Marlowe. 3 games. I like Marlowe. Dollar ones. Zaitsev. It's interesting. Zaitsev with fewer points is still rivaling. You know, he's more points than Hainsey. He's got fewer points than him. Yeah, Zaitsev is a defenseman, right? Isn't he? Zaitsev is a defenseman, exactly. So yeah, so you can see that you want your defenseman to be Zaitsev in this game. Maybe you grab those 3. Who's on the power play? Power play 1. It's not working right. Power play 2. Doesn't have them. Riley, Kadri, Rivers, Bozak. I bet you Austin Matthews on the power play. That isn't working right. All right, so I guess those 3, and I guess those 2 or 3. If you want to do that, I don't think there are going to be a ton of goals, but you're probably going to want to grab somebody. So, all that being said, let's just quickly take a look at this. By player, points per game, we are ascending by points by $1 per point, and I want to know over the last 17 games or so who's been the cheapest player. Go 15 games. So we can all see. So it's Josh Lebio, and I don't even know if he's playing. He's out apparently. Dorsett, right? So here's your value play sneakers, right? These are your guys. I do like Dorsett because I thought that Vancouver's going to put up some goals against Jersey because Jersey's been giving up some as well, right? Right? New Jersey has been giving up lots of goals. So yes, we love that. So that's another reason why we like to grab Dorsett here. Derek Grant, I like that combo of Grant and Kase. Where's Kase on here? Where's the value of Kase next to him? How far down? Down. He's all the way down here. So he's not always the best one over the last 15 games, but do like Grant apparently is. Chris Wagner, Delzato, Kosilla. That's weird. I don't know if he's playing. Palmieri, Brock Besser. I don't know if he's playing. Logan Couture. Interesting. Because of some huge games. That's why. But are they going to put up a lot of goals against Nashville? I don't think so. Darnell Nurse. Yes. Like that, given the Pittsburgh-Edmonton game, another game with a lot. So, yeah, think about the games we want to play. I like this game. I like this game. Philly, Chicago. Yeah. I don't see a ton in the Toronto. Maybe on Anaheim's side. Hold on. I will freaking look at everybody. Who cares? Taylor Hall, Sven. What average dollar per game? This is all people. If you think about it, anything under $1,500 a point is pretty awesome. So anybody here, all these guys, Voracek, yeah, Henrique, even Burns is in there. Horvat, of course. I'm surprised Letestu's in there. Must because he's so cheap, but he's not scoring a ton of points. Fanek's interesting. Kadri, even Gossesbear's there. Kase's there. Morgan Riley. Hampus Lindholm. Yep, like Lindholm. Surprised to see Rasmussen and more there. Hazy, not a ton of Josie. Provorov, yeah. Kessel, right? If you're going to grab someone in Pittsburgh, you grab probably Kessel. Couturier's been out of control. Beaujemont, that's interesting. But not a ton of points, huh? Just 1, 2. He's just super cheap. Montour, yes. Maroon. Tim Heed, hilarious. Tim Heed. I don't know who he is, but I think I'm going to pick him up in that game. Playing Nashville, just yeah. Sven, yep. Okay, so all right, that's a run. It's been a review of 5 games, but may your players be scoring, as we say.